It was a brilliant piece of misdirection, the impossible missions Force themselves would be proud of. While media were focused on the structures film crews had built on the ground in Central Otago's Reese Valley last winter, all the real action was taking place in the air. It wasn't until at least 6 months after Mission Impossible Fallout star Tom Cruise and friends had left our shores that the full extent of what they had been up to had been revealed. The first trailer showcased a helicopter chase through what looked like a distinctively New Zealand landscape. A featurette on the elaborate stunt followed, before reports came through from those who had seen the movie, which opens in New Zealand cinemas this week, that it provides the film's thrilling climax. One man who got close to the action was Glacier Southern Lake Helicopters pilot Alfie Spate. He's helped capture aerial footage for everything from the Lord of the Rings trilogy to Vertical Limit and Alien Covenant, but never anything like this before. I just did the easy part, I just flew the camera around, the self-effacing Spate says. He reveals that the 2 helicopters featured on screen were especially flown over in a plane from America and had cameras fitted all over them to be able to capture the action from a unique point of view. Spate's job was to capture wider shots featuring both the helicopters. Filming the sequence took around a month, with 3 or 4 bases set up in the triangle between Milford Sound, Queenstown and Lake Wanaka. Spate admits there were plenty of meetings and a bit of trial and error to determine how best to capture what director Christopher McQuarrie, Cruise and others wanted. They had it pretty well sorted and knew what looked good and what didn't look good, as Cruise was one of the other pilots. Spate says the pair had plenty of discussions prior to each scene. I was either following him, or he was following me, Spate laughs. He's a big player in the filming world is Mr. Cruise, and it's great that he brought this project down to this part of the world. It nearly went to Italy or somewhere. So was he impressed by the actor's skills in the whirly-bird? Oh, yeah. He did well. He's got a lot going on in his mind, not just the flying, but a lot of the overall big picture. Obviously he's a very clever guy, but was the star ever in any real danger? We all looked after him, Spate says. We had a safety helicopter up all the time. Film Otago Southland executive manager Kevin KJ Jennings says mountain flying specialists like Spate were one of the reasons why New Zealand was able to attract productions like Fallout. Alfie is the guru of aerial cinematography. He's so good at getting the right angle, at the right speed. It's all very well coming up with great stunts, but it's all for nothing if you don't have someone who can capture it. Also, there are not many places that are far enough away from everywhere to be able to film something like this, yet also have the capabilities and infrastructure to pull it off. And this is where film and tourism scratch each other's backs. It's because we've got such a strong tourism and helicopter industry here that has really lent itself to film work. Jennings says other keys to making this particular production work were the reasonable lead time the production gave to the project and the good working relationships between them, the Civil Aviation Authority, the Department of Conservation, district councils and local landowners. The Conservation Department's Tianau District Operations Manager Greg Lynn says Jennings has assisted them into thinking in a more constructive, rather than obstructive, manner when it comes to filmmaker requests to shoot at places like Milford Sound. We've got a very good relationship with KJ, he's got high conservation values, but, at the same time, is a strong advocate for the entertainment industry. Blowing up a spaceship at Milford Sound for Alien Covenant in 2016 taught us an awful lot about how the film industry has refined their techniques to ensure any use of the land is low impact. Here, we had a strong understanding of what they were going to do, as much they understood what our concerns were. With most of the action in the air, Lynn says the potential impact was very minimal and coupled with it being filmed at a time, last winter, when there were no climbers in the area and only a few hardy individuals on the Milford track, made it an easy decision for his team. Likewise, the department's Queenstown Lakes District Operations Manager Jeff Owen had trust and confidence in the relationship between them and the filmmakers. We could be a little bit agile to meet their changing needs, and they showed they were aware of our intrinsic values. Queenstown Lakes Mayor Jim Bolt believes the production brought a feel-good factor to the town. Top stars like Mr. Cruz are charming folk who enjoy the ability to get out and about in a relaxed area such as our, and when possible, mix with locals without the fuss that happens elsewhere in the world. Bolt admits he was lucky enough to visit the set with the mayoress and describes Cruz as a pleasure to chat to. He was good company and engaging. Hotel St. Moritz Queenstown General Manager Joe Finnegan agrees the film's cast and crew were never less than charming, and that it was a privilege to rub shoulders from time to time with well-known personalities. We were expecting to be asked for all kinds of special requests, particularly around food at all times of the day and night. However, there was very little. It was clear that these guests were professionals in their industry and were here to work. Our job was to make sure they were well rested, never disturbed, and had everything they needed. Paramount Pictures says the film's main unit spent 25 days in New Zealand, and the production here featured 361 crew members, with a majority sourced locally. More than 100 Kiwi extras were also recruited and put to work. A proud New Zealand Film Commission chief executive Annabelle Sheehan confirms Paramount Pictures chose to shoot Fallout here after extensive scouting led by members of her team. She says, as well as our large picturesque locations, which added the required depth, scale and scope the producers wanted for the movie, they were also swayed by the country's well-equipped helicopter industry and experienced pilots. Having viewed the finished product, Sheehan says the scene filmed here highlights the skill and experience of our crew and aviation sector, along with the scale of our physical locations. Footage of scenes shot over the Queenstown region have been shared widely by international media, cast and crew, adding to our already strong international screen story. International productions put the spotlight on New Zealand, creating a platform to showcase the screen sector and often other sectors, from tourism to technology, exports and education. Mission Impossible: Fallout opens in New Zealand cinemas on August 2nd. Stuff promoted, stories recommended by